I'm in the crib cooking. It's still quarantine, you feel me? I guess you could say I'm bored or running out of things to do. You know what I mean? And, you know, I got my little, excuse my finger, got my little bacon and sausage, you know what I mean, popping off here. You can say what you want. You know, all you health nuts out there, whatever, who don't do your pork or whatever, or beef or whatever y'all do. It's cool, you know, do you. But listen, a lot of people been wanting me to make a video for a long time. I've been chilling. But I'm going to give y'all my top 5 MCs of all time. Okay? Just hold up for it. I'm finished, you know, picking up my little sausage. And I got you. Top 5 MCs. Uncle Brisk. Top 5 MCs of all time. There you go. All right, so I'm back up in here. Now listen, trust me, I know it's been a minute, you know what I mean? This girl, she's real thick because of quarantine. You see my grub, a little bit of OJ, you know what I mean? Nice sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich on potato bread. Like I said, I don't care what y'all think, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I eat what I eat, you eat what you eat, but this video ain't about this. Let me start off by saying, you know what I mean, that this has nothing to do with how much clout somebody got, how much money somebody got. I've been listening to hip hop for so many years, you know what I mean? So I'm going to just tell y'all who I think is the best. You know, my top 5 MCs of all time from all the music that I've listened to. And you can take it how you want to take it. You know, I don't do the show no more, you know, but we won't get into that either. But, you know, without any honorable mentions, or I do have a lot of honorable mentions, to be quite honest with you, because there's so many great MCs out there, and you just think about the history of hip hop, how far it's come. Okay. All right, my bad. As y'all can see, my food is gone. I had to eat it while some workers came to the crib. I got to get some stuff done to the crib. And I forgot actually that they were coming. So, you know, I had to answer it, you know what I mean? Got to get this stuff done to the crib, you know? It's a bad time quarantine and all, but what needs to be done needs to be done. So, all right, so listen, back into this list, all right? Back into this list. Now, listen, again, I've been listening to hip hop for so many years, you know what I mean? I don't take nothing away from MCs. There's so many MCs out, especially from how long hip hop been going on. So many different MCs that just is all over the world, you know, all across the globe. And that's good for hip hop. Hip hop is, you know, they said it wasn't going to last, said it was going to be gone. Said, you know, look at us crazy because we listen to it. And that's all fine and dandy, you know what I mean? And we're here with some of the best, you know, lyricists, thought provokers, entertainers, whatever you want to call them, you know, wordsmiths. You know, this stuff is now in colleges, college courses, you know, breaking down lyrics, especially with the rising of battle rap now. You know, a lot of different scholars and everything, they break down bars and all that, and that's great. Top 5 MCs fit in all of these types of categories. You know what I mean? A lot of people get upset with me when I tell them who I like, because I don't like, I'm not saying that I don't like, but it's a lot of people that people put in their top 10 and top 20 lists and top 5 lists, you know, that because they hot right now or because somebody hopped on a song with them, you know what I mean, that they think that they're the top MC. They might have sold a gazillion records. That doesn't make a top MC to me. It's a lot of top MCs that's actually not even famous. You know what I mean? Not saying not famous, but not even on a big scale. They don't have no power monster behind them. You know what I'm saying? Pushing they product. So a lot of people get swept under the rug. You know what I mean? And if you look at the history, we're going on, you know, 40 plus years that hip hop has been around. So it's a lot of great MCs. And the young boys, you know, don't get upset. You know what I mean? When you look at this video and you're like, oh, this boy ain't on there, this boy. Well, you only been listening to hip hop for however long you've been living. Styles have changed. You know, in my opinion, I think a great MC can transcend generations or decades, rather. You know what I mean? Can go to any genre and kill it. And they just got great wordplay. They ride the beat so good. They tell dope stories. You know, they might be saying something, you know, or just barring out. You know, that's what all goes into a great MC, in my opinion. And I'm going to start this list, all right? This is in no particular order, so I don't want people to say, oh, this boy is number one and this and that. I might have a number one, but I'm not going to. Well, matter of fact, I might even tell you who I think is the greatest MC of all times, in my opinion. But the other four in this top five, you know what I mean? Whatever. Y'all tired of me rambling on, and that's okay. I just want y'all to get some backing to the reasons why I choose who I choose. Now, if you don't respect the history that comes from the South, then something is wrong with you. Now, again, some honorable mentions, and I will say after this, but my homie SCARFACE is in my top 5 MCs of all times. And, you know, a little bit of the reason why, first off, he's a dope lyricist. Secondly, he always got something to say. And he just has classic songs that just transcend generations and speak to, you know, the urban community, in my opinion. You know, he covered everything. He can get spiritual, you know, he talked about mental health, he can give you street, whatever. So SCARFACE is definitely in my top 5, all right? One of the best MCs out of Queens that y'all young boys don't even recognize, and it kind of burns me up a little bit sometimes, is Kool G Rap, okay? Kool G Rap is one of the best lyricists ever, all right? Again, his cadence, his flow, he brought a style, you know, that rapid fire style that a lot of MCs today have, you know, kind of piggybacked on and don't pay homage. And that's okay. You ain't got to pay homage. But he's still one of the best MCs ever to date. You know, you can check his catalog. ROYCE the 5'9" is definitely in my top 5. Now, again, resurgence, you know what I mean? At the beginning of his career, he was dope, but in the past, I would say maybe 7-8 years, he has just took his whole style and lyrical content to a whole nother level. So he's definitely in my top 5 MCs of all time, okay? All time. And if I leave this guy out, then something is clearly just wrong with my brain, all right? Black Thought is definitely in my top 5. If anything, he battles for like number 1 and number 2. All right, so I did kind of give y'all, you know, whatever. But Black Thought is just, he's just a great MC. As far as with the Roots group, I don't care. He need to make a solo album by himself. Well, the Roots are, he's the lyricist. He's the guy that does the lyrics in the Roots. So they are basically Black Thought albums. You know what I mean? So Black Thought is definitely in my top 5. He is just ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? And of course, if you leave this guy out, then you have probably been listening to hip hop maybe for the last, I'll say 10 to 15 years. And this guy goes beyond that. He is, you can listen to his bars now and they still just mean exactly what they meant then, and they make sense and they go in with the times. And this guy, lyrically, is just ridiculous. And I'm talking about the God, MC Rakim himself. You know what I mean? He is probably my favorite MC ever. Him and Black Thought, they fight. You know, I might fight between ROYCE and Black Thought sometimes, depending on who is bringing something out at the time. And you know what I mean? But that's my top 5 MCs of all time, in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion, you know. Taking nothing away from your Elzais, your Kendricks. For a long time, Jean Grae was in my top 5 MCs of all time. She is just ridiculous. Taking nothing away from Nas, your Big Daddy Kanes, your Andre 3000s, your Mos Defs, your Jay-Z's, your Biggies, DOC, LL. A lot of people get upset with me because I don't have Pac in there. Not saying Pac is not one of the best MCs, you know, but again, it's so many MCs, and a lot of people's, I'll say, the tenure or their catalog, they weren't around long enough, in my opinion, to be one of the best MCs, meaning when, you know, some people still living, some people passed away. Maybe if they would have stayed alive, maybe they would have been in my top 5. You know, who knows what lyrics would have came out of them, but it didn't. So it's a lot of great MCs, again, taking nothing away from these dudes, but that's my top 5 MCs of all time. Thank you for watching, y'all. I know it's been a long time, and again, it's quarantine, you know what I mean? So you got it. Peace. I'm out.